Let us understand the concept of actuators in IoT. So generally in the previous concept, we understand the concept of sensors. So sensors is going to be sense the data. That means it is used to grab the data from various quantities. So generally we know that there are various types of sensors which always gets the data from machine or a device or from the cloud. It is always going to be get, and it may be stored in anywhere. So sensor is going to be sense the data. After the sensing of data, so we already understand it, the concept of sensors. There are various types of sensors like smoke sensor, air sensor. Okay, next, what type of sensor we understand? Other sensors like temperature sensors, like some more sensors. We have all types of sensors, so many types of sensors. We understand it. What the main goal? The main goal of sensor is used to convert the physical quantities to the electronic quantities. It converts the physical quantities to electronic quantities. So simply we will understand in the sensors concept previously. Now we are going to understand the concept of actuators. What is the need of that particular actuators? The need of the actuators is once the data is stored, the data is stored, that is going to be perform some action. Here there is some doors will be there, so it will be automatically moving. It will be automatically moving whenever a particular person will come. How it will be moved? How it will be opened? The doors will be opened automatically. How it will be opened? So there will be a sensor will be there at the top. Sensor is provided. Using that particular sensor, we also having an actuator. Okay, sensor is going to be sense the data whether a particular human is come in front of the sensor. The sensor will sense the data of human readable content. That means the that may be a digital content or analog content that will be stored. So whenever the human temperature come to that particular sensor, the sensor is going to be sense the data. After that, the doors will automatically open because of there will be an actuator. So actuator is going to be perform certain action. Okay, we know that the concept of sensor is just going to be get the data only, get the grab the data. So now the actuator will perform certain action. If you want to perform certain task according to a particular sensor. Okay, so that's purpose. For that particular purpose, we need an actuator. So these doors is automatically open and close because of the actuators. Okay, so sensor will be there. Sensor is always senses and post that particular data, or going to put that particular data in the place of actuators. That means it is used to transfer the data to the actuators. The actuators will perform certain action. So that may be, this is the one of the real-time example. So the doors are closed, the two doors are closed. These two doors is automatically open whenever some vehicle came, or whenever some human is going to become near to this particular area. Automatically this actuator will work. The actuators, I will tell you the different types of actuators. So let us go for another actuator type. This is a linear actuator. Linear actuator means it will be moved. Two doors are going to move in a linear way. That means it will be moved in forward or backward. Whenever some person is come, it will be moved backward. Whenever the person is moved out from the door, automatically the doors will become forward and backward. So this type of movement is nothing but the actuator will takes, and this is the linear type of actuator. Linear actuators, we can say this is a linear actuators. Okay, so Here this is also whenever in so many actuators we regularly using, okay, in our cars, our latest cars, there will be a new technology, new actuator will be there whenever a person is sitting in the chair of the car, inside in the car, automatically the chair will be moved in front of the steering, or in front of the area environment of that particular steering and gears and other system is there. So it will be automatically moving. How it will be moving? Whenever a particular person is come in front of the and come and sit down on that particular chair, then it will be automatically move. And whenever the person is come out from the chair, then it will be automatically going to the back. It is also one of the linear actuator. How this will be going to done? The sensor will be there. The sensor is going to be sense the data, sense the data. After sensing the data of human temperature, that may, for example, the temperature sensor may be there. The temperature sensor will get the human temperature. So whenever he is going to be sit in front of the in the chair, then it will be moved forward, and the automatically everything will be come in the area of that particular person. So it is a one of the type of linear actuator, one of the real-time example. I already tell one example previously. This is the another example for the actuators. Okay. There is some other good example I already tell so many times. For example, a room, if a room consisting of a number of employees, some unknown employees come to that particular room. It is very secure room that consisting of delegate discussion will be there regarding a project or regarding any particular matter. The only very highly security will be there because of the employees will be there. The employees will discuss that particular matter. Nobody will not know the what type of content others. At that particular situations, the company is going to be decide for sensor as well as sensor that sends the data to the actuator. That means when any some uh, unknown person come, then what happened? It will be automatically indicating to the employee or manager through any particular signal according to the actuators that will be done. Okay, so that is also one of the thing. So next, if you understand the basic introduction, so the same thing what I am telling is some points here. Let us understand the points. An actuator is a component of a machine or system that moves or controls the mechanism or the system. That means, so whenever so actuator is a nothing but a component. So machine or a system, it is a of a mission, it is a component of a mission. I already shown you. It is a in the door, in the doors are automatically moving. It is the component of the wall. And or any other system. If you go for in the car system, internal interior of the car, we already seen that the seat is automatically moving. So it is also part of the system. It moves or controls. So actuator is always makes an action based on the sensor only. Please remember that action, it is going to be performs an action based on the sensor data. Okay, so an actuator is the mechanism by which a control system acts upon an environment. So what is the meaning of that? So an actuator is nothing but it is a basic mechanism. It is going to perform certain task by which the control system, based on the control system, which type of control system we are going to work. Based on the control system, the actuator mechanism is going to be performed. In the third point, so let us go and understand the third point. In the third point, an actuator requires a control signal and a source of energy. That means, So I already tell that actuator is also one of the embedded device which is also consisting of collection of resistors, capacitors, transistors, etc. Similarly, like a sensor, because it is also one of the embedded device, but it is going to perform a particular task based on the control system, or based on the control system or a mechanism what we applied by the programmer. Okay, so that means in the third point we are telling that the actuator requires the control signals. It is going to be get the signals from anywhere. That means we are that is getting the signals from the sensors and out of source of energy, any source of energy, that may be a natural energy, that may be a pneumatic energy, or that may be any kind of energies, okay, or mechanical energy or electrical energy, you can say anything. So based on that the actuators will be actuators requires the signals in the form of energy, please remember that. Next, so upon receiving a control signal, the actuator responds by converting the energy into mechanical motion. Okay, so the same thing what we are understanding, it is going to perform an action. No, actuator is always going to perform an action. See here, upon receiving a control signals, so whenever it is going to be receives a control signal, the actuator responds by converting the energy into mechanical motion. So that means once it is going to be receives the energy, receives that particular type of energy, that may be a natural energy, that may be a mechanical energy, that may be an hydraulic energy, it is going to be converted to the mechanical motion. It means it may be move in linear way or it may be move in rotatory way. Okay, so the next point is the control system can be simple. Okay, the control system is can be simple. For example, here a fixed mechanical or electronic signal, electronic system. Okay, or software based, for example, printer driver, robot control system. Okay, a human or any other input. Okay, so I already tells that. So there will be here, see here, there are different types of things. Electronic current voltage, it is the type of the resource that will be generates the control signal and performs certain action in the actuator. Otherwise, pneumatic or hydraulic energy. That means pressure based air pressure or fluid pressure will be there to perform a certain task. These particular pneumatic or hydraulic pressures is going to be leads to a control signal which provides the control signal, and it will be transfers to the actuator, then actuator will perform a certain task. Another type, if manually drive a crankshaft. Okay, example is a crankshaft. I will tell you the example for that. So manual drive, that means mechanical also. So mechanical energy, so the sensors or the actuator will use the mechanical control signal energy, and it transfers to the actuator and it performs a particular task, and it is going to be performs a particular task. So here there are three different types of energy sources. That means we can say that is a control system. In the second point we are understanding the control system can be simplified. That means a fixed mechanical or electronic system, here there will be electron from current voltage we can send the signals to the actuator. That means it sends the control signals to the actuator. And otherwise the pneumatic air signals, we are getting the temperature, we are going to temperatures and other weather reports we are getting, no, that is the example for that. Air based control signals we can send, or hydraulic based, that means fluid based control signals we can give to the actuator to perform a particular task. Okay, so in the next slide we are going to understand there are various types of actuators are there. Okay, actuator types. Let us discuss broadly regarding actuator types. The actuator types are hydraulic or hydraulic actuators. That means based on different types of fluids, which makes generally it will be used by various types of organizations and industries or chemical factories. These hydraulic actuators will be used. Okay, and pneumatic actuators. So generally, this type of actuators is also used in organizations, industries, and other area and other satellite platforms and other scientific platforms also. Pneumatic actuators are used. Next, we have an electrical actuators. Based on the power, the actuators will work. Based on the electrical power, the voltage, based on that, the actuator will work. Next type, we have thermal by magnetic actuators. Okay, based on the thermal power or the like thermal by, based on heat, some action may be performed. Based on the magnetic force, some action may be performed. These two types, thermal and magnetic, we can say these are the thermal or magnetic actuator types. And mechanical actuators, generally this type of actuators are used in so many areas. In the marketplace, the mechanical actuators are used. It is little bit cheap while compared to other type of actuators. Okay, it is going to be perform mechanical actuator is going to be perform certain mechanical action. Okay, done. So let us understand one by one. So what is a hydraulic actuator? What is a hydraulic actuator? A hydraulic actuator consisting of a cylinder or a fluid motor. So that means in generally so many chemistry industries, they want to get a certain fluid in a certain level, because they want to get in certain milliliters of a chemical to be produced to perform a certain action. So the a hydraulic actuator consisting of a cylinder or a fluid motor that uses the hydraulic power. So this particular cylinder or a motor which is used for the hydraulic power, that means it is the source of the control energy. Hydraulic power is the main thing here to facilitate mechanical operation. That means for example, I want to stop a product man I want to stop a particular product manufacture at the middle because something went wrong with that particular product, because of some resource may be changed, so the product may be damaged, or the product may be damaged, so the industry will not get the cost. For that particular purpose, a hydraulic actuator will be there. The hydraulic actuator, once the cylinder, the hydraulic cylinder consisting of some gas will be there. The gas level will be always going to be checking by the actuator. Once the gas level will be sensed by the hydraulic sensor, the sensor, once that may be a smoke sensor or any temperature type of sensor, so it will be indicates the hydraulic power. If the power is more consuming, that means what happens, the product may be damaged. It is going to be understand the product may be damaged. So this type of in this particular scenario, the mechanical operation must be done. So that particular purpose, hydraulic actuators are used. The mechanical motion is converted to linear or rotatory. Any type we are going to understand, that may be, I already given the two examples, that is one is linear, another I will give you the rotatory motion also, another. So the motion may be anything, Okay, that may be a rotatory motion, that may be an oscillatory motion. Oscillatory motion means it will be just going up and down, going up and down. Okay, so there will be different types of motions will be there. Mechanical motion is going to be converted that type of motion. Okay, since liquids are nearly here, the third point, let us understand the third point. Since liquids are nearly impossible to compress, a hydraulic actuator, that means I tell the previous example. So there will be a set of cylinders or set of some hydraulic fluids will be there. So that must be calculated. That must be calculated, and how much it will be there. If it will be goes up, there may be some accidents will be going on. So that's why we need to up every time we need to get the data from the sensors. For example, what happened, nearly impossible to compress a hydraulic actuators accepts the considerable force. So we need to use a certain force. So for example, we need to push an oil in the tank in a certain level through the manually. If you do like this, that may be the level may be differs. So if you use an actuator, hydraulic actuator, then it will be in the that particular level only, because of the chemical industries or the hydraulic industries. They will use the different types of tanks, huge tanks, which is consisting of huge oil. So the oil must be filled in a certain levels. If the oil level is low, then what happened, it is also having a disadvantage. If the oil level is huge, then it may going for an accident. We must consider the concept of hydraulic actuator when this thing is going to be maintained. So that will be maintained by the administrator who is there in the hydraulic industries. Thus, the actuator's limited acceleration restricts its uses. What I tell the same point, the actuators is limited acceleration restricts its uses. How much uses to be done? This is the concept of hydraulic actuators. So let us understand the examples. In this particular example, there will be a rotatory, there will be, this thing is always in the engines. This particular rotatory motion is always rotates and pushing the liquids. For example, this is the type of oil, one type of oil, this is the one type of oil, this is the one type of oil, and this is the another type of oil, and this is the another type of oil. This particular rotatory motion will pushes the oil, different types of oil, to perform a certain action at the background. So that means this is the one of the example. So one of the example, it is going to be push a certain level of oil, getting the data means oil, hydraulic oil, and pushing into each and every individual hole in a certain amount of. So it is always rotating and pushing the oil with a certain level. So this is the rotatory format of performing a, this is the type of an actuator, we can say it is a type of actuator. Next, we are going to understand the concept of pneumatic actuators. A pneumatic actuator converts energy formed by vacuum or compressed air at high pressure into either linear or rotatory motion. So once again, the same concept, the concept is, the motion concept is either linear or rotatory motion. Pneumatic actuators. Now, pneumatic actuators converts the energy in the form of formed by vacuum or compressed air. So that may be different resources. It formed by the vacuum or compressed air at high pressure. We need to, for example, there is a cylinder pump will be there. We need to push the material outside with a certain pressure, in that particular case we will use the pneumatic actuator, because the how much air will be there to compress the material into that cylinders. How to measure? So there will be an air actuators, that means I can say that is a pneumatic actuators will compress the content and flow the data and flows the data means what here, the material will be flowed in a certain way. So that may be a linear or rotatory. Every time the rotatory or linear motion type will be there. Next, pneumatic rack and pinion actuators. Rack and pinion is the one of the important actuator. So if you type in the Google also, you have so many example for the rack and pinion actuators. Pneumatic rack and pinion actuators are used for valve controls of water pipes. Okay, so this is also one of the good example. So generally, so many apartments or so many industries is having the tank. The tank consisting of the water level. There will be a water level. How much water level will be there? How to tell? How to tell how much water level will be there? Based on that, there will be a actuator will be arranged at the top of the water tank. So at also there will be a bottom of the tank, there will be another actuator. One actuator will be senses the data what is the level of the water. Another one actuator will senses the data where the water level will be there, where is that particular empty space will be calculated, because water, whenever water is there, the temperature within the water is different. So both the sensors will be senses the data. Based on that, what is the water level will be understood. At the same time, the valve controls means once the tank is filled, automatically valves of the water pipes will be automatically controlled. So this thing is automatically understood by through air. Pneumatic means one of the major source is air. So how much air is free in the water tank? It will, once it will be sensed, you can automatically tells that what is the water level, whether to close the valves or not. Next, pneumatic energy quickly responds. See here, pneumatic energy quickly responds to starting and stopping the signals. What I say that pneumatic energy is going to be quickly responds to starting and stopping the signals. That means I tells that there may be arrangement of an actuator. The actuator is going to be performs the action, but there may be internally two types of sensors. One sensor will tells the air sensing what is the temperature within the water. Without water, what is the temperature will be told. Based on that, it will be makes always making starting and stopping the signals. So that's why. Next thing is, the power source does not need to be stored in reserve for operation. Okay, this is also one of the important point. The point tells that the power source does not need to be stored in reserve for operation. That means once the water tank is filled, it is going to be stop the power, because if you continuously pass the power, then what happened, water is wasting and power is also wasting. So once the tank is full, the power is automatically off. it will be done, it is also going to be done by the pneumatic actuator. So once the data is received, the data, what is the data here? The data means the resource, energy resource. Okay, so these are all the things. So the pneumatic actuators enables large forces to be produced from relatively small pressure changes. Example, pneumatic brakes can be very responsive to small changes in pressure applied by the driver. Okay, this thing is this is also you seen in the regular in the real life. That means the Volvo buses, you know that whenever the brake will be pressed, it is going to be performs the immediate action. It will be made the immediate action of the entire machine. In internal part of the bus, there will be a huge system will be there. So whenever the driver is going to be push the brake, what happened? It will be stopped. The bus will be stopped at that exact position. How it is going to be done? So that means pneumatic actuator enables the large forces to be produced from relatively small pressure changes. Same thing what I told you about pneumatic brakes can be very responsive to small changes in pressure applied by the driver. Next point is it is responsible for converting pressure into force. So whatever pressure that is going to be converted to force. So another example means whenever a particular car will be there, unfortunately some accident is done, or unfortunately the car is hit to any resource, then what happened? The balloons is automatically come up. That is also once the pressure is applied once the pressure is applied, then it is going to be converted to force and get back. So that is the thing here. Next, in this particular example, pneumatic actuators, I already tell that there will be a set of there will be a set of there will be a set of a water transistors will be there. It is all this is always going to be calculated how much million amps power is going to be taken. So there will be a three control meters. It is going to be fixed the water. Okay, so the whether the water flow will be stop or start will be tell by this particular phonetic actuator. The actuator is going to be arranged here. Based on that, the action will be based on the number of million amps. It is going to be stop or start. Okay, so that is the concept of pneumatic actuator. So the same thing we understand it, and the water tank or auto that means valves will be automatically closed. This valve, these two valves will be automatically closed. Next, we have an electric actuators. In electric actuators, an electric actuators is generally powered by a motor that converts electric energy into mechanical torque. Okay, what is the meaning of that? The meaning here is the electrical actuator is generally going to be get the energy or get the data from electrical signals. Okay, so it converts the electrical resource to mechanical resource. That means once based on the power. Okay, based on the power. For example, you can say there will be a different types of examples. There will be a different types of examples. The main concept of electrical actuators is it converts the electrical energy into the mechanical energy. We can say there will be a torque. Okay, the meaning of mechanical torque is nothing but the mechanical operation. The electrical energy is used to uh, um, actuate equipment such as solenoid valves, which controls the flow of water in pipes in response to electrical signals. That means the same concept here. We are going to consume the power because we need to stop the power every time. Once the resource is used, why should I still use the power? For the purpose of power consumption, we will use this electrical actuators. One of the best example is the solenoid valves, which can control the flow of the water in pipes. Okay. Next, in the next point, last point, considered as one of the cheapest and cleanest and speedy actuator types are available. So electrical actuators, there will be so many electrical actuators are there are found in the markets. It will be very cheapest way, and we can use those electrical actuators for power consumption, for better power consumption. We will use these electrical actuators. See here, there will be an example. This is the water pipe. This is the water pipe. So there may be an actuator will be there. Whenever we put the hand beside this particular valve, then it will give the water. Whenever I take out the hand, it will not be give the water. That means here the actuator will be arranged. No need to use the human energy to put on the tap and off the tap. You can just put your hands, the water will automatically flow. If you are automatically take the hands, the water will be automatically stop. This is the one of the example. This is the one of the example for the electric actuator. And next come to, there is a thermal or magnetic actuators. These can be actuated by applying thermal or magnetic energy. I already tell thermal means based on the heat, it is going to be generate some action. In printers, you are saying that thermal printers is there. So whenever some printing of the characters is going to be done by the thermal energy, through thermal energy. That means based on heat, the characters are printing. Similarly, here these can be actuated by applying thermal or magnetic energy. Okay. And next thing, they tend to compact, lightweight, economical, and with high power density in thermal. But these type of actuators, the magnetic actuators or thermal actuators, is going to be going to be take the high power density, like for example, but it may be a compact, it may be a lightweight, but it is economically, it is with the high power density, it is going to be take the high power. Without high power, the certain action is not going to be performed. These actuators uses, next point I am explaining, these actuators use shape memory materials, SMM. You can say SMM, particular shape we are going to convert into a particular shape, such as shape memory alloys. We can say shape memory alloys, SMAs, or magnetic shape memory alloys, MSMA. So shape will be created, a particular product shape will be created. The shape will be created by applying a certain energy. The energy may be a thermal energy, or the energy may be a magnetic energy. Any type of energy, once we applied, that may be a magnetic or that may be a thermal energy. Once you applied, what happened, it is going to be performs a certain action. Okay. Some popular manufacturers of these devices are Finnish Modity Inc. and American Dynoli. This is the example, no need to remember. This is one of the popular manufacturing of thermal and magnetic actuators. That is the main company who is providing these SMAs and MSMAs. Okay, magnetic shape memory alloys and shape memory alloys. It is going to be provides in a particular shape, the product. So let us understand in this particular concept there will be actuator concept. We know the concept previously, we understood the concept of smoke detection sensor will always detect the smoke. So once the smoke detection sensor will give, this is the circuit diagram, this is the circuit diagram of basically the bell ringing actuator, the bell rang actuator. There will be a bell will be arranged, the bell will be automatically ringing, it may be an alert, it is a alert, it will be used in the factories, it will be used in fire stations, so many areas. We are going to arrange an actuator that performs like a transmitter, that performs like a transmitter. Here, if you see, if you see, there will be an electrical power supply. One is anode, and the one is cathode. We are going to apply. We are going to provide this circuit. This circuit. The main goal of this circuit is, if you fix a transmitter, that means an actuator is going to be fixed here, that based on the smoke detection or based on the weather detection, the bell is automatically ringing. This is the basic circuit. This is the one of the example for the thermal or electrical, means sorry, magnetic actuators. It is also, these two are also come in the thermal or magnetic actuator types. I already tell that the first example in the real-time examples, I already tell the right side part, and now we are going to understand the concept of the electrical bulleted circuit. How this in this is the another example. There will be three types of inductors, and it is connected to the transmitters based on the magnetic energy. The bullet will be transferred, the bullet will be transferred. Okay, this is also one of the example. Next, we have a mechanical actuators. Next type of actuators is the mechanical actuators. So these are the chief type of actuators. Generally, this type of actuators are used in the industries, manufacturing industries. This type of actuators will be used. The mechanical actuator converts the rotatory motion into linear motion, and to execute some movement, it involves the gears, rails, pulleys, chains, and other devices to operate. The example is rack and pinion. Here in the right side we have a rack and pinion example is there. So we simply, so there will be a rotatory motion will be there. There will be a rotatory motion will be there. So whenever this will be rotate, it will be moved in the line linear order. So whenever some material or some product is going to be created, automatically this type of mechanical actuators are used. We are seeing in the so many industries this type of actuators are using. So the movement, the rotatory movement is going to be caused because of the actuator. The actuator is an embedded device here. Please remember that. And there will be a soft actuators. Example, polymer based, are designed to handle the fragile objects like fruit harvesting in agriculture, or manipulating the internal organs in biomedicines. Soft actuators is also there. The internal, so many areas in the medical field, we know that medical and agricultural field, the soft actuators will be used. For example, I will tell one of the soft actuator which calculates the internal parts, the major operations will be done through these type of actuators. It will be go inside, that means we can produce, the doctor will produce some materials inside the body to calculate the different organ parts. What I say, I will give you one example. I will also give you one particular video to you. You can understand. So they typically address the challenge tasks in robotics also. In robotics, we will the robots consisting of the collection of embedded devices. The challenging tasks, that means the difficult task we cannot done by the through humans. These particular actuators will be arranged in the robotics. The robots will do a particular task, those particular tasks. Okay, soft actuators produces flexible motion due to the integration of microscopic changes at the molecular level into a macroscopic deformation of the actuator materials. Okay, what is we just understand the concept is it produces the flexible motion. So whenever the integration of all the microscopic changes, that means whatever small changes is going to be taken, based on the small changes it is going to be performs a macro, means big task it is going to be make. For example, in shipyards the lots huge tons and tons of machinery will be automatically moved from one place to another place through a small change, through certain small amount of data getting to that particular actuator. It is going to be perform the soft action. Okay, those the things. So those are the things I already tell this example. So in the pneumatic actuators, we have there will be a pipe will be arranged, the actuator will be arranged at top, there will be a small sensor will be arranged here and arranged here. It will be tense, it will one will be calculated the air, another one will be calculated the pressure, then water level will be automatically identified. So these all are actuators will perform certain action. Okay, till now we understand the concept of various types of actuators and actuator types. Okay, if you having any kind of doubts, please write in the chat box.